Hi guys, welcome back to Brew and Build. This week I've got something a little bit different for me. I've got a couple of bottles of mead. Now, I do make a few batches of mead, and I'm going to say I'm not an expert mead maker, and because of that I don't tend to show a great deal of the mead or anything that I do. But we do like mead, we do drink a bit of mead, and we do make it mostly because we keep bees and we've got an absolute shed load of honey on hand most of the time, so it's nice to be able to find things to do with it. What I've made is a plain mead and a chocolate mead. Now I made these on the same day, but out of two different batches of honey. So the plain mead I made from spring honey, and our spring honey it's really caramelly. It's like you've taken a bog standard honey of some sort and mixed in a load of caramelized sugar. I haven't quite worked out exactly what that is that's creating those caramel flavors. I suspect it's the sycamore. We've got a lot of sycamore flowering around the place in spring, and I suspect that's probably where it's coming from, but I'm not entirely sure. The chocolate mead is autumn honey, and our autumn honey is really fruity. It must have a lot of fructose in it, and just various flowers, wildflowers around the place, and a little bit of heather in there as well. I was kind of hoping I'd get some of the caramel flavour in the spring mead, but I'll see whether I can identify that when I open it. The chocolate mead, that was something different I tried, and it was inspired by a video over on Stoneyard Vineyards. They made a chocolate mead, and then it was quite harsh, I think they'll say, initially, and they stuck the bottles away for a couple of years, pulled one out, and it had smoothed right out. And when they're drinking it, they're saying it was almost a little bit like a chocolate liqueur. So I was fascinated by that, and had to make a batch of that. So what I've used in the plain mead is just honey, nothing else. I haven't back sweetened it. It is just a reasonably dry mead. The chocolate mead, what I've used is 300 grams of Carafa Special III. I went for the special rather than the standard, so it's dehusked, it's less harsh, it's less bitter, and I think that should work quite well in the mead. I then put, when I was aging it, after fermentation, I put a vanilla pod in there. And the hope of the vanilla pod is just to smooth it out a little bit more, give it a little bit more depth, and a little bit more sort of dessert quality, dessert wine sort of quality to it as well. I'll show you a picture of how I age and clear my meads. What I do is I transfer from the fermenter after fermentation into a mini keg, and I sit those mini kegs somewhere cool, temperature stable, and they sit there for months. Then I flip it on its side very gently, let it settle for another day or two in case I disturbed anything, and I bottle out of the gas inlet port of the mini keg. So I get clear mead, completely oxygen free, transfer the whole way. I don't have to siphon out of various carboys and things. It's how I do it. It's more of probably a beer method that I'm using there, but anyway, it works for me. So what I'll do is I'll show you some footage of making making the mead, and then we'll come back and we'll open these up and see what they taste like. Okay then, let's get these open. Let's I'll open them both and pour them both out first. Or just from that plain mead being open, I can smell it. It's coming up out of the bottle. Lovely smell. Okay, plain mead. And the chocolate. So they're quite nice looking. Interestingly, the plain mead hasn't completely cleared. Now this is 20 months on since bottling, and it never quite cleared. I mean, it's pretty good, as you can see. It's reasonably clear, and I see it on the screen there. But there is a light haze to it. I don't know whether I can get a picture on there. You can just see the light haze in it. Now, why that is, I'm not 100% sure. What I didn't do on these meads, and I normally do, I normally adjust my water, because my water is spring water off the hill. It's got virtually nothing in it at all. It's almost equivalent to RO. My water generally I adjust to at least have 50 parts per million of calcium in it, and I forgot to adjust my water on this. So lacking any calcium in it at all, I just wonder if that was part of the reason it stayed cloudy. If you know any more about that and you have any experience on it, please comment below. I'm quite interested in whether that might be the case. Both meads started at 11.05. Both meads went down to 10.01, makes them about 14%. So I'll start with the plain mead first, because the chocolate will knock anything out if I start with it. It's beautiful smell. Really rich honey. Yeah, really nice. Whether I can get any caramel out of that, I'm not sure. I'm picking up caramel in the aroma. Now, considering that's a dry mead and it's down at 10.01, it's surprisingly sweet. There's a lot of sweetness left in that. It's quite smooth, as you'd expect after 20 months. I think there are light notes of caramel in there. I think that honey character has come through, but for 10.01 I am surprised at how sweet that actually is, and how much residual sugar that's left in it. That's really nice. I think it is a really nice mead. I'm gonna probably leave these. Well, I'm definitely going to leave a number of them. We've just got meads of various ages going through, but I suspect I'll leave these probably for another 6 months before we really start getting in and drinking them. So by the time we're through over 2 years old, that's going to be really smooth by that stage. Lovely. I don't have any issue with that at all. I think that's a lovely mead. So, chocolate mead. Now this is the really interesting one. I've had 1 or 2 bottles of these as they've been aging, and I would concur with what they were saying at Stoneyard Vineyards on it, that it was, I'm not going to say it was rough. It wasn't rough to start with by any means, but it was certainly quite harsh. Even though I cold steeped the Carafa 3 on it, that real dry roast note and well, that's about the best you can describe it. That real dry roastiness was sitting in there, and it wasn't quite working with the honey notes. No real legs coming off it, but you can smell chocolate. That's what you can definitely get. Chocolate and honey. It smells smooth. I haven't had a bottle of this for a good few months now. That's really nice. That's So first thing that comes through, definitely chocolate, and it's a dark bitter or dark very heavy cocoa chocolate. It's not milk chocolate by any means. It's like having a very dark, lightly sweetened, rich chocolate. Then it's got notes obviously of honey and fruity honey. So that autumn honey is coming through. The fruitiness of that autumn honey is definitely coming through. And then you're left with that just a little smoothness of that vanilla pod. It was only one pod of vanilla in there. I haven't gone excessive on it, but you can smell the vanilla actually, and you can taste it. You're left with vanilla. Yeah, the vanilla's worked really well with that. It's just, there's still a little bit of dryness from the Carafa malt in there, and the vanilla just smooths that out. I'm going to say once again, another 6 months of aging of this, and I mean this is already really good as a dessert wine. This is already fantastic, but another 6 months and that's going to be so smooth. Well, I've got 2 bottles of mead to get through, so I'm going to leave you with the usual thought. Anyway, I've talked enough nonsense about this, and the usual thought on this occasion, at least anyway, is life's good, drink more mead.